D'tzniuta. Okay, so we're coming around the bend here a little bit. Let me see if I have any marks on page Kuf Nun Ches. We got to number Vav. That's what I think it is. Or am I wrong? Am I wrong? I don't really make a mark there. Okay, so number Vav. Where is number Vav? It's down at the bottom. It's there. But Tzadik Yisod Olam. We went through that. But Pirat Tzadik Shuhu Sod Zer Anpin. Excuse me. Tzadik, which is the Yisod of Zer Anpin. Who Miyased as a Nukva Hanikvas Olam. She's called Olam. So he says, I think that's probably the right place. He says, Reba Hadras Melech Yisachapikit Tzadik Yisod, that phrase, Miyased O Misakein Olam Shihir Malchus. Okay, so that's a simple understanding. Ad Kan V'rei Gam Bebira Gra. So the Gra into this also. And what does the Gra say? He says, B'zecha Amro, this is what it says, Ha'aretz Al Amud Echad Omed. We saw this previously. The earth stands on one column. What's the column that it stands on? But Tzadik Shemo. So earth is Malchus. Malchus stands, or I guess she's built. That's a concept here of, I guess, by the Tzadik. It's the Yisod. Shena Ember B'Tzadik Yisod Olam. The Tzadik is the Yisod of Olam. But V'hu Yisod of the Chura. It's the male Yisod. Shemesham Nivnech of Olam Nukva Shenikvas Olam Kiyadua, who's called, we said before that she's called Olam. It's like an Alma. V'zechah she'amar kan derchsev v'tzadik yisod olam ad kan. V'rei od b'cha'aras abos. So we're going to get some ha'aras coming up. V'ini the nukva shenikvas olam. V'es rei b'zohar. So he says, amai olam da shchinta. Targum olam alma. I don't know if we read this before. It sounds like a repeat. Lishna da olima. So Targum Shal Olam is Alma B'Lashon Nara. So I think we did see this, but I'm not sure where we're at right now. So at any rate, so he says Kamada Atama, like you say like this, Alma Ad Kan. So let's move on. I've just got to clean my glasses here for a second. Okay. See if that helps. That did help. Okay, now we're going to go to number Zion. So after number Vav, it says, so he says that the tzaddik, this Yisod, is Misakein the Olam. V'ha'inyan hu, so he says, Ki ha'nukva devuka tamed b'Yisod Zer Anpin, that the nukva is always attached to the Yisod of Zer Anpin. So Rei Beferish Maurice Saruk. So now, as I love Maurice Saruk, let's see what he says. Shabir Khan Bezel Deshana Behavior of a Sefer. So he's talking about our Sefer, the Sifra D'tzniuta. Rai the Devar Shanukve Devuka B'Yisod Shazer Anpen. This is a little bit defining the relationship between them. She's always attached to his Yisod. Derchsiv v'tzadik yisod olam. That's what it means. The tzadik, which is yisod, is also makes the yisod for the olam. I'm not sure what that means. Sheperusho hu sharat tzadik shuhu yisod kenoda shom yesh olam. In that same place, there's the olam. Behind the malchus shenikras olam kenoda ad kan. V'rei od b'ha'aras the el. So we also have ha'aras up above. He says what? He says, B'Shem Ari Sarok, the Lekach Nikvas Hanukva Akarasabai. So then he goes over to this idea again, that she's called the Akarasabai, the root of the house, let's say. The Fi Shuhu Devuka B'Yisod Dezer Anpin, and the reason why is because she's attached to the Yisod of Zer Anpin, Shuhu Iker Zer, which is the Iker. So she's the Ataris, I guess you would say a Karis, right? The Karis means, let's see, that she's attached, she's the bias that's attached to the Akaris. because he says Anpin says who the Iker Zer Anpin, so the Iker is Zer Anpin Ayin Sham, and she's the Akaris of the bias, or she's the bias that holds the Akaris, something like that. V'rei Mashu Huva Od Ba'otze Beurim, he's going to have more on this, that's good. Kan Ayin Sham V'rei Od Ba'aris Habo. So let's see some more here. So now we have the concept from the Ris Saruk that the, so I'm always thinking that the Nook is, she's called a Psia Labar. So at that point, in the embryonic stage, she's attached to Zeranpin. And so here he's saying that she's always attached to Zeranpin. She doesn't become any time, well, it's a little hard to play this. So let's go on. For number Zion. She's really a dot underneath the yesod, and that's the secret of the tip. Ataris means the crown of the yesod. It means the tip, the end of the yesod. Shehu sod kasset the nukva, and that tip that's at the very end of the yesod happens to be at the same one and the same time the kasser of the nukva. So therefore, even after this, Be'ez Tikkun, the Nukva sold parts of it, the time of the Tikkun of the Nukva, and she forms herself into a parts of 10 spheros. Adayim Nishar Shorish Nukva, the root of the Nukva still remains Davuk B'Yisod B'Sod Ataras Yisod. It's still stuck onto there. In other words, she never really detaches herself from the Yisod of Zeranpin. I'm trying to think of how that happens because whoops. I lost you. I tell you, really, I was late getting into the office, so I had the phone over there. I don't know if you could hear me all this time. Should we start after number of Zion again, or where should I start? Okay, I'll say what. So I'm really got to the ches. So the last thing he said is this: V'adayin nishar shorsh nukva, even as she develops into a parza. Her root, which is a little bit difficult to understand, is still davuk, attached, b'yisod ataras yisod. She's still the tip of the yisod of Zeranpin, that she grows from that. So therefore she's, what? Holding on, he says it again, and rooted b'yisod b'temidus, always like that. Let's see if we could get down and look at number ches. See what number ches has a rikas to it. So let's see what we can understand of it. So here we go. He has it over the Bakamba Bakomas of the Eitz Chaim. He says, look over there, Ashar, what? Lamadal, Perik Beis. V'zad the Shana Bedelov, V'oz, Hanakuda Shal Nekeva, Choyse Besod for Yisod, the Zer Anpin Besod, the Atara Atzmach of the Yisod, that actually it's a piece. Let's say it's a piece of the Yisod. Not like like if I say if it's attached to the Yisod, then it means it sounds like she was independent and she maybe was a separate thing and then she got attached. Here he said Besod Hataras Atzma, the Yisod, it's actually the tip of the Yisod. A Bechina the Kuda Zion loves, and it becomes his seventh sphera. So he says Atara Barosh Tzaddik Shulchan Yisod. So it's the Atara, the crown, that's at the, well, he says at the head of the Tzaddik. What's the tzaddik? The tzaddik is Yesod. That's who she is. So she's like a growth, an outgrowth of the male aspect, of a male aspect. So once again, her start is attached to his bottom. It's interesting to me thinking about bottom and top because he used the word rosh before. So normally I think of the Yesod, I would think the Yesod starts at where it's attached to Zeranpin, or would be going on the other side. He's looking at the tip of it as being its start, its head. So that's a place where the Nukva is located. That dot. So therefore, Nikra Atara, so therefore it's called a crown. Ki keser batara, because look, that's the same thing. Lakol hachana havana achas, it means the same thing. Shemitachila b'yadzacha b'malchus tachas yisod b'bechinas atara. So ministry was really underneath. And he doesn't say at the tip. He says underneath the yisod, which mashma, I don't know if it means mashma on the back of the yisod, but bechinas atara a devukusham, always attached there. Ki la'olam afilu kodem b'tikun, because always, even before the tikkun, deny the ima. Then, in other words, I guess it means the entrance of the nai of ima. Hoyin niknasim tocha gufa dezer anpen al derek shar hazmanim. So, etc., etc. I'm not sure where that went. V'yotzim oz, and then it comes out there. Oz ha-oros derek ha-yisod de ima. They come, the lights come out of through the yisod of ima. Misakdim sham as a malchus, and they are able to misak in the malchus. I think there was a skip of some sort there. Not sure what we're talking about here now. Okay, yesh la shorish sham, so therefore she always has a root there. Besoda atara ad kan ein sham. Okay, so this is where all of the shefa comes out. So she's attached to the place where the shefa comes out. In other words, the thing is, it says including as a she, like a separate entity. And here he's saying it's really not a separate entity. How it is, it's the female side of the yisod, something like that. I don't know, so how to say it. So he said, "Chaim b'zel deshon of zah ein bo rak teisha sfiros of a chasiris hin nukva, but the 10th sfiros is the nukva amna." He says, let me see, I can read this. Hanicha sharshabo. So she placed her root there. Her root is placed there. Vihi atarashabo, and it's actually at the same time the tip or the crown for him. Ki misham, that is from the yisod. Ki misham ne'achazes, because she's attached to there. She holds on to that place. Akatara ki meklal yisod atzma. So it comes again and he says, don't think like it's an attached. That's the problem with the attached. It sounds like it was attached goes with being separate, then you attach it. Here he says, Akatara ku mechlal yisod is a part of the yisod atzma itself. Okay, now I'm back online a little bit better. We have just mindful to Hashem to be able to learn this material. Here we come again. Okay, so try to analyze this material. So we see over here he's saying that the fact of the matter is that it's really she's really attached. Not became attached, that she's a part of it. Akatara hi mechlal yisod atzma nimsa kechasfira yud he parts of the nukva the zer anpin. The 10th sfira is going to be the parts of the nukva zer anpin. Let's see. V'hu eno rak teisha sfiros. He's only 10 sfiros. V'zechat nisheres nishrashes v'nechazes b'sof. And this one that we're talking about, I guess she means the malchus. The he, that's malchus, is attached to, is rooted and holding on, is b'sof a yisod at the end of the zod who perik gimel shabo on nikra atara. Now we see in other places the yisod only has 2 prakim. Here he says she's the 3rd prak. Ein sham. V'rei gam be'etz chaim, also look over there, b'zel d'shon v'dilum. Yechan nukva be'ez atzilus, when she comes out, a rishon lo choyse rak nekuda achas levad kenoida. So she was originally, when she first appeared, gained some physicality, I guess, she was just a dot. So nekuda zu, from this nekuda zu, maskil binyan kol mitziyus, and for that little dot begins all of the construction of the nukva. V'zechu shorish kol b'chinas nukva. So this is really the root of all the different aspects of the nukva. V'zechu nishreishis v'achris kol god rashechu. So this is right at the beginning and the end of all the different explanations. Da ki'echan nekuda shenitzalas tchila. That nekuda which appears first. He keser shabo. That's her keser. So we said that before. I'm looking at it a different way. She's just a nekuda. When Zera Anpin comes out, there's a nekuda there. And that's her appearance. She appears there, and that's actually, that nekuda is what? It's the beginning of Malchus from the top. So at the beginning, before gestation, before the yichud Abba Be'ima and producing this seed, before that time. Choysa B'sofa Yisod, she was at the end of the Yisod. What Yisod? L'mata Memenu, below him, Ad Kan. Now that last part I think needs a little explanation. This is what was the condition? What are we talking about? The conditions before he says Adaki the Kudish and the Etzla Techila he Keser Shabbat, and then he said but Techila Kodem Ever, before the Ever. So when is that? That's in we were talking about in Abba Be'ima. Chaysa B'sofa Yisod, she was at the end of the Yisod. What Yisod? The Yisod of Ima? The Mata B'menda, down below him. Now he's talking about the end of the Yisod is their Anpin. So it's a little confusing for me. Last one. V'yesh Devar Kan. Oh, here's another thing we really want to get into. He says the Kavan the Chilin Shorish Nukva, because the beginning of the root of the Nukva, who be Yisod the Zer Anpin, is in the Yisod Zer Anpin. The Chain Sholet Zer Anpin al Nukva. So that's part of our little Sifra D'tzniuta here. So therefore, since she's attached at his end, so therefore, I guess you call it his end. So therefore, she's subservient to him. Shahare calls shorsha, v'achiz also humamenu. So all of her root, all of that, she's. This word alchez really keeps throwing me. She's still holding on to that place. That's what it says here. That's because she grows out from him. She has to be, he has to be there before she could be there. It's the tzaddik, the yisod, that makes the olam possible. So as he's built, she's built. Rei od be'otzah. So we're going to get some more stuff of Kan. He said, Rei od be'zorcha. He says over there, Shehevi the Kan divrei itzchaim. So he brings that. So the Shona, let's get a quote. He says, Min ha-yisod, from yisod itself, the Zer Anpin, Nivra shir kumas gufa ha-koilul vok. He says, what is Nivra is created the shir kumas gufa of her body, the measurement of her body, which is vav kitzvahs. Ki gam ha-yisod yesh bo vav zeira. So the yisod itself has also a little vav. Who's that little vav, he says? Umemenu na'asa guf malchus, and so that little vav that's at the end is always calling it now of the yisod. That's the sixth. That's going to be the nukva. Na'asa guf malchus sheyesh bo vok also ad kan ein sham. So there's a spot where we see that the yisod of the nukva is called the small vav, indicating that she has potential, I guess you would say potential, if she's fed properly, to grow into a vav, like Zer Anpin. Okay, anyway, that's that part right there. That we have a few minutes so we could look a little bit of the next piece.